Sige, with that, we'll just have the meeting officially started. Can Iris, do we have a quorum for today?
Yes, sir. All the members are complete, sir.
Sige, let's just do the roll call for record purposes, please. In fact, wag po dyan.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to this BAC Charlie meeting. This meeting is being streamed online via the CAAP YouTube account. Please acknowledge once your name is called. Attorney Roberto Martin Benaventura,
Present.
Lieutenant Colonel Valentino Junela, Miss Jocelyn Ching,
Present.
Miss Amneris Gabriel,
Present.
Miss Diana Ines Biñas.
Present online.
Good morning, ma'am. And our end user from the ADMS, Architect Emerson Salas.
Present online, ma'am.
Good morning, sir. For the back technical working group, we have our head, Attorney Frank Edward Marty,
Present.
Attorney Edelisa Erugin,
Present po.
Engineer Hubert Tamata, Engineer Joferan Joseph Torrefranca,
Present po online.
Engineer Michael Macabenta, Engineer Lolita Hubay, Miss Maria Cristina Balonon, and for our back secretariat, we have our overall head, Dr. Rolly Bayaban, Irish Presyon, Attorney John Bo Masiglat, our minutes taker for today's meeting, Mr. Thomas Duke Santos, and also present, sir, are the other members of the back secretariat, as well as our observers from the DOTR, Mr. Abelardo Sore, COA, IAS, and we also sent our invitation letter, sir, to the PCCIS, ASFI, and the Procurement Division. That's all for the roll call, Mr. Chair.
All right, sige. With that, let's proceed, please, with the primary items in the agenda. So, as I understand, we have some reports to be presented. Post-qualification report for the first one would be Zamboanga International Airport Development Project, CY 2021, amounting to 230,164,511 pesos and 72 cents on ABMS DOTR downloaded project. Attorney Frank will be presenting this.
Good morning, Mr. Chair. Yes, sir. I will be presenting these projects, sir. Allow
Go
me
ahead,
to
please.
share my screen. Attorney Irish, can you confirm if you can see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. On behalf of the technical working group, I will be presenting the project, the outcome of the post-qualification evaluation conducted by the technical working group for the Zamboanga International Airport Development Project CY 2021. This is for the repair of runway, grading of runway strip, rehabilitation of passenger terminal building. So the approved budget of the contract is 230,164,511 pesos and 72 centavos, and the bid was opened last January 6. For this report, we evaluated the proposal of RCDG Construction Corporation being the lowest calculated bidder. So here are our findings. Number one, for the eligibility documents, PhilJEP certificate of registration. The submission is responsive. They submitted a valid PhilJEP's registration, which is valid until January 25, 2022, which is valid during the opening of bids, and they also submitted an updated PhilJEP certificate of registration during the post-qualification. So it is responsive. Registration certificate from SEC, DTI, or CDA. The submission is for SEC certificate, and it is the date of registration is October 14, 1992, and this is responsive. For the business or mayor's permit, the mayor's permit issued at Zamboanga City, valid until 31 December 2021, with the official receipt of renewal dated January 3, 2022. So this is valid during the opening of bids. And they also submitted an updated mayor's permit during the post-qualification. So this is responsive. For tax clearance, the submission is responsive. The tax clearance is valid until February 24, 2022. For the pickup license, the requirement, we actually require two. First is medium A large category B for buildings and industrial plant, and the submission of RCDG is large B license category AAA for this requirement. And the second requirement is large B license category A for road, highway, pavement, railway, airport, horizontal structures, and bridges. And this is and the submission of RCDG is large B license category AAA. So this is within the prescribed license requirement. So the PCAP licenses are also valid until June 30, 2022. So these are responsive submissions. For the statement of all ongoing projects, they submitted 29 ongoing infrastructure project, no slippages more than -15% and no slippages more than -10. For the information of the chair and to the board and to the members of the committee, we also secured a certification from the list of ongoing from DPWH and the OTR, and we already obtained such requirement and no adverse findings against the RCDG. So the submission is responsive. Statement of a single largest completed contract. The requirement is we require actually two for horizontal and vertical. For the horizontal, concreting of roads and other horizontal structure, the submitted project is a contract package 3B, new construction and improvement of Basilan Circumferential Road. So this is a road project, and the location is in province of Basilan, amounting to 415,256,820 pesos and 52 centavos. While for the building requirement or for the vertical requirement, the requirement is building construction, improvement, rehabilitation, and the submitted project is the design and construction of Iriga City Government Center. The nature of work is building construction. It is located in Iriga City with a contract amount of 78,168 pesos, 68,481 pesos and 38 centavos. All these submitted single largest completed contract for both requirements are similar to the contract, and it is more than 50% of the ABC of the project, so this is responsive. For the audited financial statement, they submitted AFS for 2019 and 2020, and it's stamped received by the BIR April 2021, so this is responsive. For the computation of NFCC, sorry, the NFCC is of RCDG is 7,766,439,472 pesos and 27 centavos. This is way more than the ABC of the project, so this is responsive. Joint venture agreement is not applicable in this particular case. For the technical documents, the bid security, they submitted a duly notarized bid securing declaration, so it is responsive. Organizational chart, they also submitted the required personnel to be assigned to the project, so this is responsive. For the list of contractor personnel, all the technical personnel are compliant with the requirement of the project, so this is responsive. For the list of contractors' equipment, they also submitted the list of required equipment, and they met the minimum requirement as per invitation to bid, so this is responsive. For the omnibus sworn statement, they submitted a duly notarized omnibus sworn statement. This is responsive. For the certificate of site inspection, the site inspection was conducted by Mr. Ronel Tolentino last December 27, and the certificate was issued by Engineer Santos of Airport Manager of Zamboanga Airport. For the photocopy of the company ID of the person who conducted the site inspection, they attached the company ID of Mr. Tolentino, the project engineer of RCDG, so this is responsive. Photocopy of airport visitors logbook. RCDG submitted the visitors logbook of Zamboanga Airport containing the name of Mr. Tolentino, project engineer of RCDG. So this is responsive. Bid bulletin not applicable in this project. For the financial documents, financial bid form, the offer bid applying the discount of 2.5% is 214,772,469 pesos and 69 centavos, while the calculated bid, also applying the 2.5% discount, is 215,425,630 pesos and 15 centavos. So the difference from the ABC is 14,738,881 pesos and 57 centavos. For the bill of quantities, oh, I'm sorry, the financial bid, both calculated and the offered bid, are below the ABC, so these are responsive submissions. Bill of quantities, the submission is in accordance with the bidding form, so it is responsive. Bid proposal, it is also in accordance with the prescribed forms of these projects, so it is responsive. Detailed estimates, this is in accordance with the bidding forms. It is responsive. Summary sheets for material, labor, and equipment rates. The submissions are all in accordance with the bidding forms. Cash flow by quarter and payment schedule, the submission is in accordance with the CAAP form, so it is responsive. So, RCDG submitted within 5 calendar days the required post-qualification documents, and for the information of the committee, the technical working group conducted the inspection at Zamboanga City, the location, the equipment of RCDG, as well as the ongoing projects of the RCDG. So, for the latest income tax and business tax, they submitted an annual income tax return for the year 2020, and it is stamped received by the BIR last um, May 14, 2021. So this is responsive. Other appropriate licenses, they submitted the updated, as mentioned earlier, the updated field job certificate of registration, updated mayor's permit, pickup licenses, SEC registration, and tax clearance. For the audited financial statement, the AFS for fiscal year 2019-2020 was submitted, and this is stamped received by BIR last um, April 20, 2021. It's responsive. Key personnel, the submitted or the personnel to be assigned for this project met the requirements, and their licenses are valid and all current. So it's responsive. All in all, the submitted proposal of RCDG was evaluated to have offered the lowest calculated responsive bids, for they have complied all the legal, technical, and financial requirements. However, the submitted bid of RCDG is lower than its calculated bid, and per section 34.4, what is controlling in awarding the project is the one which is in lower price. So with that, Mr. Chair, the technical working group, we are recommending to award the project of the award the contract for the project Zamboanga International Airport Development Project CY 2021 to RCDG Construction Corporation in the amount of 214,772,469 pesos and 69 centavos for consideration and approval of the committee, Mr. Chair.
All right, thank you, Attorney Frank. Sir, clarification, ito yung nag-fail na before na project, tama? And this is the second.
Yes, Mr. Chair, this is a rebid, Mr. Chair.
The reason because walang nag-bid or hindi nakapag-comply lahat ng bidders, tama?
I'm sorry, sir, you're not coming in clear.
The reason for the failure before was because of the failure of all the bidders to, kumbaga walang nag-qualify.
No, Mr. Chair. The reason for the first failure was the reservation clause. The board invoked
Okay, it
reservation
was
clause.
presented to the board. I
Yes,
remember, I
Mr. Chair.
remember. Ay, sige, this was a board approved. Ano pala. Sige. With that, thank you for the presentation, DWG. Do we have any comments or questions from the members? If there's none, maybe we can have a motion, please, so that we can proceed with the project. Thank you.
To the chair.
Yes po, ma'am.
Yes, I move to recommend approval for award of Zamboanga International Airport Development Project to RCDG Construction Corporation for having passed the post-qualification evaluation.
Thank you, ma'am. Do you have a second?
Second.
I second the motion.
Thank you po. There being a motion duly seconded, the recommendation is hereby adopted for the award of the project, Zamboanga International Airport Development Project to RCDG Construction Corporation for having submitted the lowest calculated bid. And as I understand, Attorney Frank, this will be presented for board approval.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
All right, the motion is hereby carried. Let's have this already prepared for presentation. The board, by the way, is set on the 18th of February, just for your information. Sige, let's go on, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
What's the next item?
Sir, the next item is the presentation of post-qualification report for the Lubang Airport Development Project, expansion of passenger terminal building amounting to 16,085,000. This is an ADMS DOTR downloaded project.
All right, let's have this presented, please.
Yes, sir. I'm just sharing my screen, sir. So this presentation is for the Lubang Airport Development Project, is expansion of passenger terminal building. This is a rebid. The approved budget for the contract is 16,707,218 pesos and 61 centavos. And for this project, we evaluated the proposal of FAA Construction. This FAA Construction is the loan bidder for this project. So for the results of the evaluation, eligibility documents, field JEPs, certificate of registration, this is compliant. It is valid until the submission is, the registration, field JEPs registration is valid until March 9, 2022, so responsive. The DTI registration certificate from DTI, they submitted a DTI certification, which is valid until February 2023, so this is responsive. For the mayor's permit or business permit, they submitted a mayor's permit issued, which is valid until December 31, 2021, and it's valid during the opening of bids. And they also submitted an updated mayor's permit during the post-qua. So it is responsive. So for the tax clearance, the submission is valid. The tax clearance is valid until September 20, 2022, so it's responsive. For the pickup license, the requirement for the project is small b, category C and D, and the submission is small b, category B. So the pickup license is also valid until June 30, 2020. So this is responsive submission. For the SLCC, for the list of ongoing government and private contracts, only 2 projects were submitted. Government projects were submitted. No slippages less negative 15, and no slippage of more than negative 10. So these are responsive submission. Sorry. For the SLCC, no submitted project. ABC is not more than the pickup allowable range contract cost for the license. So, considering that the license requirement is only category CD for small b, so SLCC as per pickup and GPPB rules, SLCC is not a requirement for this project. So the submission is responsive. For the audited financial statement for fiscal year 2019-2020, dated April 15, 2021, is responsive. For the NFCC of FFJJ, no, FAAA is 150 million 479,485 pesos and 80 centavos. This is more than the ABC of the project, which is only 16 million. So uh, this is responsive. Joint venture agreement, not applicable. So we go now to the technical documents. The bid security, it is in accordance with the form of bid securing declaration, and this is duly notarized and signed, so it is responsive. For the organizational chart, the submission met the minimum requirement of technical personnel as per invitation to bid, so this is responsive. For the list of contractors personnel to be assigned to the contract, they also submitted a responsive document, and it met the minimum required technical personnel per invitation to bid. For the list of contractors' equipment, the major equipment are complied with, and the minimum required equipment are also listed, and these are responsive submissions. For the omnibus sworn statement, they submitted a duly notarized omnibus sworn statement, so it is responsive. For the certificate of site inspection, the site inspection was conducted by Mr. Presas last November 15, and the certification was issued by Engineer Valin no, he's a CAAP representative, so this is a responsive submission. Photocopy of the company ID of the person who conducted the site inspection. They attached the photocopy of the ID of Mr. Presas, the foreman of FAAA Construction, so this is responsive. For the visitor's logbook, they submitted the visitor's logbook of Lubang, and with the entry name of Mr. Presas, so responsive. Bid bulletin, not applicable in this case. For the financial document, financial bid, it's 16,698,888 pesos and 38 centavos, and the calculated bid is 16,699 pesos, 214 pesos and 85 centavos, and the difference from the ABC is 8,003 pesos 0.76. So this is below the ABC of the project, and it is responsive. Bill of quantities, it is in accordance with our forms, so it is responsive. Bid proposal, it is in accordance with Section 9 bidding forms also. This is responsive. Detailed estimates, the submission is responsive. It's in accordance with the bidding forms. For summary sheets for materials, rates, labor, and equipment, all in accordance with the forms for this project, so it's responsive. Cash flow by quarter, it is in accordance with the bidding form of the project, so it is responsive. For the post-qualification documents, latest income tax, they submitted the business tax for 30 September 2021, which is the third quarter, and it is responsive. Business licenses, they submitted an updated SEC registration, mayor's permit, tax clearance, and pickup license. All are updated submissions. And for the latest audited financial statement, this is for the fiscal year 2019-2020, and it's stamped received by BIR April 15, 2021, so it is responsive. For key personnel, all the assigned personnel has valid licenses and accreditation from the respective government agencies, accreditation board. So it is responsive. To some, the bid proposal of FAA Construction complied with all the legal, technical, and financial requirements of the project, and is considered as the lowest calculated responsive bid. So also, the submission of the financial bid of FAA Construction is lower than the calculated bid amount. So as per section 34.4, the one that is controlling in the determination of the bid award price is the one which is in lower amount. So so with this, we are recommending, Mr. Chair, the technical working group to award the project Lubang Airport Development Project to FAAA Construction, being the single calculated responsive bid in the amount of 16,698,888 pesos and 38 centavos for consideration and approval, sir.
All right, thank you, Attorney Frank. Sige. Do you have any questions or comments from the members? If there's none, maybe we can have a motion, please.
To the chair.
Yes, Ma'am Joyce.
Yes, sir. I move to recommend for award the Lubang Airport Development Project to FAAA Construction, being the single calculated responsive bid. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Is there any second?
Second.
I second the motion.
Thank you po. There being a motion duly seconded, the recommendation is hereby, the motion is hereby carried, and the recommendation of TWG for the award of the Lubang Airport project to FAAA Construction is hereby adopted. So, okay, let's proceed, please.
Sir, our next agenda is the presentation of the post-qualification report for the Mlang Airport Development Project, rehabilitation of passenger terminal building, construction of powerhouse, construction of vehicular parking area, provision of concrete curbs, sidewalk, wheel stop, and pavement markings at BPA, construction of 10,000-gallon steel water tank, construction at drainage system at BPA, and construction of transformer yard, amounting to 31,576,981 pesos and 54 centavos. This is an ADMS DOTR downloaded project, sir. This will be presented by the TWG.
Permission to
All right,
proceed.
go ahead, please.
Permission to proceed, sir. Thank you, sir. So this is for the Mlang Airport Development Project, and we opened the bid last November 5. And for this post-qual, we evaluated Ware Corporation International, and it's with a calculated bid of 30,716,789 pesos and 58 centavos. So for the findings, field job certificate of registration, it is a valid submission and it is responsive. The registration is valid until June 3, 2022. For the SEC registration, registration certificate from SEC, they submitted a valid submission and also responsive. Date of registration is October 9, 2026, and company registration number is of 130621. So it is responsive. Business or mayor's permit, they submitted a mayor's permit, which is valid until December 31, 2021, and this is valid during opening of bids. So it is responsive. For the tax clearance, it is valid until June 18, 2022, and it is responsive. It is also valid during the opening of bids, so it is responsive. Valid pickup license, the pickup license requirement is medium A, license category B for building an industrial plant, and the submitted pickup license is large B, triple category A. So the license is within the requirement, and it is valid until June 30, 2022, so it is responsive. For statement of all ongoing government and private contracts, they submitted 3 government infrastructure projects with no slippages more than 15% and no slippage more than negative 10%, so it's responsive. Statement of single largest completed contract. For this project, the requirement is the submitted project for the SLCC is the proposed construction of Regional Evacuation Center. This is a building project located in Lalio, Cagayan, with a contract amount of 32,889,407 pesos and 21 centavos. And the submitted bid is similar to the contract to be bid with more than 50% of the ABC of the project. This is responsive. For the audited financial statement, the audited financial statement for fiscal year 2019-2020, stamp received by BIR June 3, 2021, this is responsive. NFCC, the submission, NFCC of where is 5,369,023,620 pesos and 55 centavos. It is responsive since it is also more than the ABC of the project. Joint venture agreement, not applicable. For the technical documents, bid security, they submitted a bid securing declaration, which is duly notarized. This is responsive. Organizational chart, they met the minimum required technical personnel as per invitation to bid. List of contractors personnel, it is also responsive as the requirement is, they comply with the requirements, so it is responsive. However, for the list of contractors' equipment, the list of equipment are already pledged in another project, which is also a CAAP project. I'll show to you, Mr. Chair. We already awarded the project for where the Basco Airport, and in the submitted Blang Airport Development Project, wait, I'll just zoom this in. So they submitted a dump truck with 10 cubic with a capacity, wait, sir. So for the Blang, we actually require a dump truck, which is also a requirement in Basco, but the same dump truck with the same plate number, NCZ 8454 and NCZ 8454. So also upon inspection, the technical working group went to their yard in Pampanga, and we verified that there is only one dump truck, and this is already pledged in the Basco Airport. So the requirement, they failed to comply the requirement, the availability of the required dump truck for this project. So we rate the submission as non-responsive. So omnibus sworn statement, it's also responsive. It is duly notarized. Certificate of site inspection, the submission is responsive. Company ID of the ID of the person who conducted the site inspection. Mr. Royod conducted the project engineer conducted the inspection, and the submission. They also attached the company ID of the Mr. Royod, so it's responsive. Airport visitors logbook, they attached the visitors logbook of Nang. Sorry, this is Nang, not Basco. Sorry, Mr. Chair. Bid bulletin number 1 and 2, they attached bid bulletin number 1 dated October 2021 and bid bulletin number 2 dated November 4, 2021, responsive. For the financial document, the financial bid is responsive. It's below the ABC of the project. Bill of quantities in accordance with the bidding forms, responsive. Bid proposal, it's also in accordance with the bidding forms, it is responsive. Detailed estimates, also in accordance with the bidding forms, responsive. Summary sheet, including indicating the materials, labor, and equipment rate, these are responsive submissions. And cash flow by quarter and payment schedule, it's in accordance with the bidding form, so it is responsive. For the post-qualification documents, they all submitted the required documents for post-qual, and for income tax return, the post-qual submission is responsive. Business licenses, updated registrations were also submitted, and these are all responsive submissions. Latest audited financial statement, also responsive, and the key personnel responsive. So, considering that there is this one non-complying item, it is which is particularly the submitted list of contractors personnel which are owned, leased, and or under purchase agreement, where international corporations submitted an equipment which are already pledged to another project. So Considering this, Mr. Chair, the technical working group hereby recommends for the disqualification, post-disqualification for submitting a deficient list of major equipment to be assigned to the project and assigned and used for the project. And also we are recommending to declare a failure of bidding considering that no other bidders qualify for the project, Mr. Chair. For consideration, sir, and approval.
Alright, thank you, Attorney Frank. So, just to clarify, wala nang ibang bidder? This was the lone bidder?
Uh, yung number 1 and 2, sir, na-disqualify po sila sa bid evaluation. So, eto po yung pang number 3, si Ware. So, disqualify po. Our recommendation is to post-disqualify considering yung equipment nga po niya na double na po sa ibang project, sir.
Yeah. Alright. Sige. Do you have any questions from our members? If there's none, maybe we can have a motion, please.
Okay, through the chair.
Yes, ma'am.
I move for the post-disqualification of Ware for being deficient in the submitted bids and declaration of failure of bidding or having no other bidders.
Thank you, Ma'am Joyce. Do you have any second?
Second.
Thank you, Ma'am Diane. There being a motion duly seconded, the recommendation of the PWG. Firstly, for the disqualification of Fair Corporation International. Secondly, for the declaration of failure of bidding are hereby adopted. So TWG, can we just make the necessary communications first for the disqualification, and secondly, all the necessary steps for the declaration of failure of bidding?
Will comply, Mr. Chair.
Sige, thank you. Do you have anything else for today?
Yes, sir. We still have a presentation of the post-qualification report for the procurement of General Santos Airport Development Project, calendar year 2021, completion of expansion and rehabilitation of existing passenger terminal building, and communication of other airport facilities amounting to 96,100,840 pesos and 44 centavos, an ADMS DOTR downloaded project.
Permission to proceed with the presentation, Mr. Chair.
Go ahead, please.
So, again, this is for the General Santos Airport Development Project, CY 2021. So, we opened the bids last December 22, 2021, and Vicente T. Lau Construction being the lowest calculated bidder in the amount of 91,257,830 pesos and 16 centavos, we evaluated their submission for post-qualification. And here are the results of the post-qualification evaluation. For eligibility documents, FieldJet certificate of registration, they submitted a FieldJet registration platinum membership valid until 11 October 2022. So this is a responsive submission. Registration certificate from the DTI, SEC or CDA. The submitted document is DTI certificate, registration date, registration validity until 11 March 2026, so this is responsive. Business or mayor's permit issued at Davao City, valid until 31 December 2021, valid during the opening of bids, and they also submitted a updated mayor's permit during the post-qualification. So these are responsive submissions. Sorry. Tax clearance, the submitted tax clearance is valid until May 19, 2022. So this is responsive. For PCAB license, we actually require one for horizontal and one for the vertical. For the vertical, it's medium A license category B. The submitted the VTLAO submission is large B license category A. We also require small b license category B for roads and highways, that is for the horizontal, and VTLAO is large B license category AAA. So the pickup license is also valid until June 30, 2022. So this is responsive. Statement of all ongoing government and private contracts. They submitted 56 government projects. No slippages more than -15 and no slippage more than -10. Just take note, Mr. Chair, that although there are projects with more than 15% negative slippage, but they substantiated it with the letter of, suspension order from the implementing agency, so suspension order for the project implementation. These are all documented and well supported items. So we also secure as required by the board, we also secured a copy of, a certification from the OTR as to their slippages and ongoing projects, and we already received the OTR certification indicating no projects and no negative slippage. Also from the DPWH, Mr. Chair, the same thing. Both documents were already with the TWG. And these are responsive documents, submission, sorry. For the SLCC, the first requirement is for completing asphalting of roads and other horizontal structure. They submitted the project Lagandingan Airport Development Project, construction of access road, phase 1. So this is a completing of work, and it's located in Lagandingan, Misamis Oriental. The project the project contract amounting to 187,764,998 pesos and 51 centavos. So this is responsive, but for the building as well, building construction, this is for the vertical requirement, building construction, improvement, rehabilitation, and repair. The submitted project is construction of 6 units, 4-story, 20 classroom building at Zamboanga del Norte National High School. So the amount of this project is 185,136,991 pesos and 81 centavos. The submitted completed projects are within the is similar to the contract to be bid, and the contract price is more than the ABC of the project. So these are responsive submissions. Audited financial statement, the submission is for fiscal year 2019-2020 and it's stamped received by DAR 14 April 2021, so it's responsive. NFCC, the NFCC of VTLAO is 28,050,392,041 pesos and 4 centavos. This is way more than the ABC of the project, so this is responsive. JV, not applicable in this case. For the technical documents, bid security, it's a duly notarized bid securing declaration, it is responsive. Organizational chart, the person to be assigned to the project met the minimum requirement. Okay naman dito. Nag-freeze, no? Wait. Sorry, Mr. Chair, I have to reshare. I think nag-freeze yung screen ko. Secretariat? Okay. I'll continue. For the list of contractors personnel, the submitted list also met the minimum required technical personnel as per invitation to bid, so this is responsive. List of contractors equipment, all the equipment required for the project, they complied and they are all available. These are responsive. Omnibus sworn statement. The submission is a duly notarized omnibus sworn statement, so this is responsive. For the certificate of site inspection, the site inspection was conducted by Mr. Gabriel last December 7, 2021, and the certificate was issued by Mr. Gavina, Engineer Gavina, Airport Manager of Jensen Airport, so this is responsive. Company ID of the person who conducted the site inspection, they attached the company ID of Mr. Gabriel. It is responsive. And for the visitor's logbook, they attached the visitor's logbook of Jensen Airport with the entry name of Mr. Gabriel. So this is responsive. Bid bulletin number 1. Bid bulletin number 1 dated December 6, 2021 is also submitted. So this is responsive. For the financial documents, first is the financial bid form. The offered bid is 91,254,747 pesos and 35 centavos. And after bid evaluation, the calculated bid is 91,257,830 pesos and 16 centavos. So a difference of 4,843,010 pesos and 28 centavos from the ABC. So this is below the ABC, and this is a responsive submission. Bill of quantities, it is in accordance with the CAAP form, so this is responsive. Bid proposal is also responsive, it's in accordance with our forms. Detailed estimates, the same goes with detailed estimates, it is responsive as it complies with Section 9. Summary sheet for materials, labor, and equipment, these are all in accordance with bidding forms, responsive. For cash flow by quarter, it is in accordance with the bidding forms as well, so it is responsive. For the post-qualification documents, the submitted documents is within the prescribed 5-day period, and the technical working group together with the Secretariat went to the VT Lao to conduct the inspection of the site, the materials, the equipment for the project and the ongoing projects of VT Lao. So for the document submission, latest income tax, they submitted the business tax returns for fourth quarter 2021 received by the BIR on January 26, 2022. Other appropriate licenses and permits, all responsive submissions, updated field jobs registration, pickup license, DTI, tax clearance, and mayor's permit. Latest audited financial statement, the submission is responsive. They submitted fiscal year 2019-2020, stamped received by BIR April 14, 2021. Key personnel, all the licenses and permits are valid and current. So these are responsive submissions. So with that, the proposal of VT Lao Construction was evaluated to have offered the lowest calculated responsive bid, and they all comply the legal, technical, and financial requirements. However, there is a difference between the submitted and the calculated bid. The calculated bid is lower than the submitted bid. Higher than the submitted bid. So with that, as per 34.4, the controlling price, bid price is for the award is the one in the lower price. So with that, Mr. Chair, we are recommending that the project, General Santos Airport Development Project, be awarded to Vicente Tila Construction in the amount of 91,257,830 pesos and 16 centavos for consideration, sir, and approval.
All right, thank you, Attorney Frank. Do we have any comments from our members?
Sir, to the chair.
Yes, ma'am.
Po, question lang po, kasi tinignan ko yung opening of bids. All others bidders na disqualify. Tama po ba na miscalculated bid pa rin po siya? Discalculated responsive bid. Kung disqualified na po yung other bidders?
So
Or may other bidders ba?
wait, ma'am. I'll go back to the bid evaluation. Yes, Miss Ma'am Joyce. Sorry, Ma'am Joyce, we have to correct Miss Ma'am Joyce. It should be single na lang po, Ma'am Joyce, kasi na-disqualify na po pala sila during bid evaluation. Thank you, Ma'am Joyce.
Okay po, thank you.
All right.
Single
Please
na lang.
make the necessary change sa resolution if ever. Any further comments? If there's none, maybe we can have a motion. Please subject to the revision recommended by Ma'am Joyce.
To the chair, I'd like to make a
To the
motion.
chair.
Yes, ma'am. Hindi, Ma'am Dayan?
Sir, I'd like to make a motion.
Go ahead po, ma'am.
I'd like to move for the adoption of the recommendation of the technical working group to award the contract for the General Santos Airport Development Project, calendar year 2021 to Vicente T. Lau Construction, being the single calculated responsive bid.
All right, thank you, ma'am. Any second?
Seconded, sir.
Thank you, Ma'am Joyce. There being a motion to seconded, the motion is hereby carried and the recommendation for the award for the project Gensan. Pwede paki-flash lang po.
Sorry.
Still reading it.
Sorry, sir. Sorry, sir.
Yes. To award the project General Santos Airport Development Project to Vicente Tila Construction is hereby adopted. And the motion is hereby carried. Sige, DWG, can you just make the necessary communications for this? Thank you.
Yes,
Let's
sir.
proceed.
We'll also present this, sir, to the board, sir.
Yes.
Sir, our next agenda is the presentation of bid evaluation report for the Sargon Airport Development Project amounting to 211,461,023 pesos and 94 centavos, an ADMSD OTR downloaded project. This will be presented by Attorney Idelisa Irugin.
Hello, good morning, everyone. So I will be presenting the bid evaluation report for the Sargon Airport Development Project. So the location of the project is at Sargon Airport, Del Carmen, Surigao del Norte. The approved budget for the contract is 211,461,023 pesos and 94 cents. It is under bid number 21-035-12 Charlie. We had the opening of bids last January 19, 2022 at the CAAP conference room. So as a background, 3 bidders actually signified their intention to participate in the bidding for the above-mentioned project. We have Messel Construction and Electrical Incorporated, Fabme Construction and Equipment Company Incorporated, and the last one is FFJJ Construction. So all 3 prospective bidders tendered their bid proposals within the prescribed period, and the submitted bid proposals were opened and checked in the presence of the bidders, representatives, and observers. So a preliminary examination of the submitted bid proposals was conducted during the opening of bids using the non-discretionary pass or fail criterion. All submitted bid proposals were initially rated as passed for having submitted the required documents specified in the checklist. Thus, the TWG recommended for the conduct of the bid evaluation on all bids that were rated as passed, which was duly approved by the BAC. Now, let's proceed to the findings. Let's start with the Fabme Construction and Equipment Company. The submitted bid proposal was 198,880,816 pesos and 98 centavos. So this is applying the 5% discount. And then for the calculated bid proposal, we have 198,880,174 pesos and 73 cents. Therefore, for the remarks, this is considered as the lowest calculated bid, a complete bid, and it is below the ABC. For the second bidder, we have Messel Construction and Electrical Incorporated. We have 173,155,938 pesos and 36 centavos, applying the 10% discount. For the calculated bid proposal, it cannot be determined. Therefore, it is considered as an incomplete bid and it is recommended for disqualification. Next is for FFJJ construction. We have 189,898,000 for the submitted bid proposal. For the calculated bid proposal, it cannot be determined. Thus, it is considered as an incomplete bid and for disqualification. So based on the data presented, the bid proposal of FABME Construction and Equipment Company Incorporated was ascertained complete for offering all the required items in the detailed estimates in the provided Philippine bidding documents. Next, for the bid proposals of Messel Construction and Electrical Incorporated and FFJJ Construction, both were found to have submitted an incomplete bid for offering a deficient list of materials, labor, and equipment in the required items in the detailed estimates that were provided in the PBD. Because it was modified and altered, the bill of materials and detailed estimate forms and the CAAP standard form. As provided in the BDS clause 11.11, it expressly provides that any modification and or alteration on the stated requirements in the financial document forms shall not be allowed. Applicable CAAP BAC standard forms included in this PBD shall be complied in accordance with the prescribed forms under Section 9 of the bidding forms or Annex C. Bids not complying with the above instructions shall be disqualified. In view of the foregoing, the bid proposal of FABME Construction and Equipment Company Incorporated is considered as the lowest calculated bid in the amount of 198,880,174 pesos and 73 centavos. So let's just proceed to Annex A for reference. So for the completeness of bids for FFJJ construction, we have the CAAP requirement. You can see on the screen. However, going to the next page, for FFJJ construction submission, a comment is just observed by the TWG. Let's focus on W11. We have the fixed window in powder. So this is the comment of the TWG. Next, we have the completeness of bids for Messel Construction and Electrical Incorporated. So this is the CAAP requirement. Okay. However, based on the submission of Messel Construction, we can see in letter A, it's a bit incomplete. It says covering including accessories. Also, in addition to that, another CAAP requirement. There you go. But for the Messel Construction, we have this one. Under labor, project civil engineer. This is our observation. Let me just go back to the recommendation of the TWG. Okay. So for the recommendations, in view of the above findings, the BAC TWG hereby recommends the following. First, that the bids of Messel Construction and Electrical Incorporated and FFJJ Construction be disqualified for offering an incomplete bid and modifying the CAAP standard form. Next, that the bid proposal of FABME Construction and Equipment Company Incorporated to undergo a post-qualification process for being evaluated and considered as the single lowest calculated bid in the amount of 198,880,174 pesos and 73 centavos for the project Sargon Airport Development Project. That's all, Mr. Chair.
All right, thank you, Attorney Ice. So we have here the recommendation of TWG first for the disqualification of Missile Construction and Electrical Incorporated and FFJG Construction for offering incomplete bid, and secondly for the recommendation to conduct post-qualification process for the bid submitted by FABMIC Construction and Equipment Company. Do you have any comments from the members? If there's none, maybe we can have a motion, please.
To the chair.
Yes, ma'am.
Apo. I move for the disqualification of Messel Construction and Electrical Incorporated and FFJJ Construction as recommended by the TWG, and for post-qualification of FABMI Construction and Equipment Company being the single lowest calculated bid. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. Is there any second?
ng 3 point na mas mataas na
Thank you, ma'am. There being a motion duly seconded, the recommendation of TWG is hereby adopted for the disqualification of the aforementioned bidders and for the conduct of post-qualification process for Fabmi Construction and Equipment Company. Motion is hereby carried. Thank you. Let's proceed, please.
Sir, our next agenda is the presentation of the bid evaluation report of the construction of new passenger terminal building phase 1 at Ozamis Airport, amounting to 222,023,935 pesos and 37 centavos. An AMS DOTR downloaded project. This will be presented by Engineer Jofet Torrefranca, sir, of the TWG. Sir Jofet.
Yes, good morning. Thank you, Attorney. Good morning, Mr. Chair and members of the BAC. On screen is the bid evaluation report of the TWG Charlie for the construction of new passenger terminal building, phase 1 at Ozamis Airport, with an ABC of 222,023,953.37. This is under bid number 21019009. It is a negotiated procurement. The bid opening was last 21 January. For the background, the following bidders, 7 bidders were invited to submit the proposal for the negotiated procurement under 2 failed bidding for the project, namely BM Marketing, Vicente T. Lau Construction, Ronmark Construction, St. Timothy Construction Corporation, Hashtag Ventures and Development Incorporated, R2 Builders Incorporated, and lastly, Uplift Construction and Development Corporation. Of the 7 invited bidders, only 3 bidders tendered their bid proposals within the prescribed period. The opening of bid proposals was witnessed by the bidders' representatives and observers from the OTR, COA, and CAAP Internal Audit. And the TWG recommend for the conduct of bid evaluation of all the submitted bids, and this was duly approved by the BAC. For the findings listed in the table in ascending order are the calculated bid proposal. For the first bidder, R2 Builders Incorporated, the submitted bid proposal with 2.41% discount got the lowest bid proposal, which is 210,172,998 and 88 centavos. But on the calculated proposal, the amount is 210,172,299 and 79 centavos. The bid of our 2 Builders Incorporated is a complete bid and below the ABC with the lowest calculated bid. The next bidder is St. Timothy Construction, a BIB Builders Enterprise Joint Venture, which is got the 3rd lowest submitted bid proposal, 221,823,997.41 centavos. And the calculated bid proposal is $1,823,977.40. The bid of St. Timothy and Abib Builders joint venture is also a complete bid and below the ABC and is listed as the second lowest calculated bid. For the third bidder, the Ronmark Construction, which submitted a bid proposal amounting to 210,744,400 pesos and 17 centavos, rated as the second lowest. But the calculated bid proposal cannot be determined due to an incomplete bid and is for disqualification. The bid proposals of R2 Builders and St. Timothy Construction, Abib Builders Enterprise Joint Venture, were ascertained complete and for offering all the required items in the detailed estimates and tendered bid proposal of Ronmark Construction was found incomplete for submitting a deficient list of materials, labor, and equipment in the required items in the detailed estimates that were provided in the PBD of the project. For the comparison, this is the CAAP requirement, Mr. Chair, for may we request the members to focus on item C, equipment. On the upper portion of the screen is the CAAP requirement, and below is the bill of materials submitted by Ronmark Construction. And looking at the item letter C, pump concrete is missing in their bid or in their submitted bid. It is expressly provided in ITB 11.1 that modification and or alteration on the stated requirements in the financial document forms, such as the BOQ, detailed breakdown of component of each item, and DUPA shall not be allowed. And applicable CAAP BAC standard forms included in this in the PBD shall be complied in accordance with the prescribed forms under Section 9, Bidding Forms, Annex C. Bids not complying with the above instruction shall be disqualified. The bid proposal of R2 Builders is then considered as the lowest calculated bid in the amount of 210,172,299 pesos and 79 centavos. With the data with the findings, Mr. Chair, of the TWG, the recommendations are as follows. Number one, the bid proposal of Ronmark Construction be disqualified for offering an incomplete bid. And number two, the bid proposal of R2 Builders to undergo post-qualification process or evaluation for being evaluated and considered as the lowest calculated bid in the amount of 210,172,299 and 79 centavos for this project, Mr. Chair, for the consideration and approval of the BAC, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, sir. We have your recommendation for the conduct of post-qualification process for hindi ko mabasa. R2 Builders for having been evaluated and considered as the lowest calculated bid, and for the disqualification of Ronmark Construction for having submitted an incomplete bid. And this is the recommendation of the TWG. Do we have any comments or queries from the members? If there's none, maybe we can have a motion, please.
To the chair, I'd like to make a motion.
Go ahead, ma'am.
I move for the adoption of the TWG recommendation. First, for the disqualification of Runway Construction for having submitted an incomplete bid, and second, for the bid proposal of our two builders to undergo post-qualification process for being evaluated and considered as the lowest calculated bid.
Thank you. Do you have a second?
Second, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. There being a motion duly seconded, the recommendation of the TWG for the disqualification of Runway Construction is hereby adopted, as well as the recommendation for the conduct of post-qualification process for the bid of R2 builders is likewise adopted. The motion is hereby carried. Kindly implement TWG.
Yes, sir.
Sige, let's proceed, please.
Next item is the presentation of the bid evaluation report of the asphalt overlay of runway markings for the Tacloban Airport Development Project amounting to 56,695,700 pesos and 722 pesos and 95 centavos. An ADMS DOTR downloaded project. This will be presented by Engineer Mike Macabenta.
Mr. Chair, before we proceed with the
Yes,
presentation,
ma'am.
Mr. Chair, we would like to inform, Mr. Chair, the committee, sir, that the BAC Secretariat, Mr. Chair, actually received a request for consideration from BM Marketing. I am flashing it in my screen right now, sir. Okay. So they are actually requesting for reconsideration. Actually, BM Marketing passed the opening of bids. However, they are contesting, Mr. Chair, on uh, the the action of the committee uh, in relation to the mayor's permit, on why we accepted the mayor's permit despite it is what do you call that, expired. Despite an expired mayor's permit, sir. So they actually would they are in this is a very lengthy discussion, Mr. Chair, because they are citing here um, the reasons why tax clear I mean the mayor's permit should not be accepted, but in their prayer it is stated here, allow me to read, Mr. Chair. Wherefore, premises considered, it is respectfully requested of the CAAP BAC Charlie that the earlier finding that all of other bidders who passed in the preliminary opening of their bid documents in the procurement denominated as asphalt overlay of runway and runway markings for the Tacloban Airport Development Project, bid number 21033-11, Charlie, be reversed and set aside, and a new finding issue declaring all the bidders as failed and disqualified or ineligible, and that their submitted documents are incomplete and insufficient. It is likewise respectfully requested that BM Marketing be declared to be the only one to have passed the preliminary opening of bids and to submit the bid proposal for qualification, post-qualification. Such other relief and remedies which CAAP Charlie may find just and equitable under the premises and prevailing circumstances are likewise prayed for.
Do you have anything further to discuss?
Um, the technical working group, Mr. Chair, is recommending to dismiss or deny their motion for reconsideration, considering that the field jobs itself allow the submission of an expired mayor's permit subject to compliance during the post-qualification process, the submission of an updated mayor's permit, Mr. Chair. And considering that the opening of bids was conducted last January 6, um, business permit or mayor's permit may only be renewed after the expiration, and it cannot be renewed early on, unlike any other uh, permits and clearances such as tax clearance, PCAB licenses. They can be renewed earlier the than the mayor's permit, sir.
Anong recommendation?
The recommendation, sir, is to deny on the ground that it lacks merit, and at the same time, the mayor's permit, even though it is expired, it is still subject to the it's still subject with the compliance after compliance during post-qualification, sir, the submission of a valid mayor's permit, sir, an updated mayor's permit.
All right. Thank you, Attorney Frank. Sige, let's just open this for discussion by the members. Hold on. Ayan. If you may recall, this the decision to accept the expired mayor's permit, not just for this particular bidding, but for all the other biddings that were subjected to the same circumstances, was brought about by the fact that the original scheduled, correct me if I'm wrong, Attorney Franca, the original scheduled bidding dates for these were unfortunately canceled due to the typhoon. Tama, Attorney Frank?
That's correct, sir.
Hold on, let me just fix my audio.
Sir, we can hear you,
Hello?
sir. Yes, sir. That is correct, sir. Mr. Chair, we can hear you, sir. Sir, you're on mute po.
Yeah, wait lang.
Sorry.
Ako yung hindi nakakarinig. Inayos ko lang. Pasensya na.
Sorry, sir.
Ayan. So, with that, the reason, unfortunately, they were canceled due to fortuitous events, meaning the onset of the Typhoon Odette, and they were rescheduled on a date already. Tama ba? 2022 na, no? January?
Yes, sir. 5, sir.
Yes, and
5.
with that, yeah, and with that, most of the bidders were not able to to timely renew the mayor's permit given the short amount of time that they had to renew the same, and considering also that it was beyond their fault, that the same was had to be renewed all of a sudden because the dates were suddenly changed. Likewise, as mentioned by Attorney Frank, unlike the other requirements like tax clearance, wherein the renewals are can be done a lot earlier, mayor's permit unfortunately are not subject to the same requirements. Kaya pinayagan natin just to give everyone a fair chance. Of course, all of this subject for them to still present the renewed mayor's permit in the course of the evaluation process. Tama, Frank? Tama ba lahat ng sinabi ko?
That's correct, sir.
Yes. So for me, I don't see any reason for us to reverse our earlier position. If anything, if they want to pursue this, they can pursue this with the protest with the board, for the board to decide. But on the back level, I don't see any reason for us because this will also affect all the other bidding projects that we bid out under the same circumstances. Frank, we can get ano naman, di ba? We can get some sort of opinion, or maybe we can get some basis from the GPPB for this.
Actually, sir, we have a basis from GPPB. There is this GPPB resolution. I'm checking it right now, sir. GPPB resolution allowing the submission of an expired mayor's permit together with the official receipt, and this will be subject, Mr. Chair, for the submission of the renewed license after during the post qualification. There is a resolution for this, Mr. Chair.
Okay, let's just use that as basis. as we reply to this, and in the event that they file a protest, we at least we have a sufficient basis why we acted on this. And should the board decide to reverse, then it's up to them. But at least we have a basis for us to hold on to. Do you have any comments from the other members? Is there any objection with the recommendation?
Through the chair.
Yes, ma'am.
Sorry sir, hindi ko kasi nasusundan. Yung sumulat, yung ano, ang nag-MR po siya na mapasama pa rin yung bid niya, tama po ba?
Hindi, kasama talaga yung bid niya, ma'am. Ang ini-MR niya is gusto niya ma-disqualify lahat ng iba.
Ayun, yun nga. Yun na clear ko. Opo. Okay po. Sige, thank you sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Is there anything else from the bidders? If there's none, maybe we can move for the adoption.
Yes, sir. We will just prepare, sir, the letter reply denying the MR of BMR Kidding, sir. Taking into consideration the remarks of the chair during the opening of, in today's meeting, sir.
Yes, ma'am. But I just want to hear from the other members. Baka may objections pa sila.
Okay, sorry, sir.
Alright, hearing none, sige, the recommendation is hereby adopted. Let's prepare that letter, Attorney Frank.
Will comply, sir. We will proceed now, sir, with the presentation of...
Okay, si Engineer Mike na. Go ahead.
Good morning, everyone. I'm presenting the bid evaluation report for the project Asphalt overlay of runway and runway markings for the Tacloban Airport Development Project at Tacloban Airport, Tacloban Leyte. The approved budget for the contract is 56,995,722 pesos and 95 cents. This project is under the bid number 21-0330-11 Charlie. The date of opening of the bids for this project is January 5, 2022. There are 6 bidders who signified their intention to participate in the bidding of this project. All 6 prospective bidders tendered their bid proposals within the prescribed period, and the submitted bid proposals were opened and checked in the presence of the bidders, representatives, and observers. During the opening of the bids, a preliminary examination of the submitted bid proposals was conducted using non-discretionary pass or fail criterion. Only 5 out of 6 bid proposals were initially rated as passed for having submitted the required documents specified in the checklist. Consequently, the TWG recommended for the conduct of bid evaluation on all bids that were rated as passed, which was duly approved by the BAC. Let us proceed with the findings. There are 5 bidders subjected to the bid evaluation. The first bidder is LSD Construction and Supplies with submitted bid proposal, the lowest submitted bid proposal in the amount of 40,633,923 pesos and 50 cents. But their calculated bid proposal is 46,636,506 pesos and 88 cents. The 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 bid proposal of LSD Construction and Supplies was is the lowest calculated bid, and having a complete bid and below the ABC. Second bidder, second lowest, second bidder is BM Marketing with the second lowest submitted bid proposal of 46,670,759 pesos and 64 cents, including the 15% discount. But the calculated bid proposal is 46,760,760 pesos and 43 cents, including the 15% discount. This bid proposal is the second lowest calculated bid, having a complete bid and below the ABC. MPJR Builders Company is the third bidder with the third lowest submitted bid proposal in the amount of 48,080,621 pesos and 40 cents. The calculated bid proposal is 48,080,637 pesos and 93 cents. Is the MPJR Builders Company is the third lowest calculated bid, having a complete bid and below the ABC. Horizontal Infrastructure Corporation has a submitted bid proposal of 55,434,430 pesos and 22 cents. And the calculated bid proposal is 55,434,456 pesos and 24 cents. The bid of Horizontal Infrastructure Corporation is the fourth largest, lowest calculated bid, having a complete bid and below the ABC. Last bidder is Aqualin Construction, with a submitted bid proposal of 46,760,759 pesos and 64 cents, including the 15% discount. Their calculated bid proposal cannot be determined due to incomplete bid. That's why the recommendation is for disqualification. The bid proposals of Horizontal Infrastructure Corporation, LSD Construction and Supplies, MPJR Builders Company, and BM Marketing were ascertained complete for offering all the required items and the detailed estimates in the provided bid bidding documents. The tendered bid proposal of Aqualin Construction was found to have modified and or altered the bill of materials and detailed estimates forms of CAAP standard forms. The basis for the disqualification of Aqualin is the BDS clause 11.1 that expressly provides that modifications and or alterations on the stated requirements in the financial document forms, BOQ, detailed breakdown of component of each item, and DUPA shall not be allowed. Applicable BAC standard forms included in this PBD shall be complied in accordance with the prescribed forms in under Section 9, Bidding Forms Annex C. Bids not complying with the above instructions shall be disqualified. The third finding is that the bid proposal of LSD and supplies is considered as the lowest calculated bid in the amount of 46,636,506 pesos and 88 cents. Um, for for the disqualification of Aqualin Construction, this is the annex showing the non-compliance or the modification of the bidder in their bill of quantities and cost estimates. Instead of pieces, they identified as unit of diamond blade cutter in square meters. The recommendation of the TWG in view of the above findings are the following. Number one, the bid proposal of Aqualin Construction be disqualified for modifying the standard CAAP standard form. The second recommendation of the TWG is that the bid proposal of LSD Construction and Supplies to undergo post-qualification process for being evaluated and considered as the lowest calculated bid in the amount of 46,636,506 pesos and 88 cents for the project asphalt overlay of runway and runway markings for the Tacloban Airport Development Project. That's all, Mr. Chair.
All right, thank you for that presentation. So again, we have here a recommendation from the TWG. Recommendation from the TWG for the disqualification of Aqualine Construction, and secondly for the conduct of post-qualification for the bid of LSD Construction and Supplies for the project asphalt overlay of runway and runway markings for the Tacloban Airport Development Project. Do you have any comments from the members? If there's none, maybe we can have a motion, please.
Motion, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, ma'am. Go ahead.
I move for the adoption of the BAC TWG for the proposal to disqualify Aqualin Construction, and number two for LSD Construction and Supplies to undergo post-qualification process being the lowest calculated bid. Thank you.
Thank you. Do you have a second?
Second.
Thank you po. There being a motion duly seconded, the recommendations of the TWG is hereby adopted. First, for the disqualification of Aqualine Construction, and second, for the conduct of post-qualification evaluation for LSD Construction and Supplies. Motion is hereby carried. TWG, can the implement? Let's proceed please with the agenda items.
Thank you.
Sir, the next item is the presentation of the bid evaluation report for the airport or MOC Airport Development Project, construction of control tower building, powerhouse, transformer yard, box culvert, and street grade correction amounting to 194,095,250 pesos. This is an ADMS DOTR downloaded project. This will be presented by Tololit. Correction, Lawag. Correction, Mr. Chair. Next is the presentation of the bid evaluation report for the Lawag International Airport Development Project, calendar year 2021 runway strip grade correction with provision of strip and Andressa expansion of turnaround pad, construction of access road amounting to 124,947,650 pesos and 99 centavos. This will be presented by Engineer Lolita Hubay.
Mr. Chair, before we proceed, Mr. Chair, with the presentation, sir, we would like to inform the committee, sir, that we received a the BAC Secretariat or the BAC Office receive a motion for reconsideration for HGW is equal to 3 engineering constructions. Be it remembered, Mr. Chair, that during the opening of bids, the bidder HGW is equal to 3 was disqualified for failure to attach a certification of no pending case. And during the bid opening, Mr. Chair, the representative of the bidder confirms that there was no submission. However, in their letter for reconsideration, sir, they are saying here that they are certain that their submitted bid is complete and complying with all the required documents. And they are requesting uh, us to go over the document from page 1 to the last page of the omnibus sworn statement. And for the TWG, Mr. Chair, we are recommending to deny this um, motion, considering that the representative during the opening of bids confirms that there was no submission, and we thoroughly opened and scanned the documents, including the omnibus sworn statement and its attachment, and there was no certificate of no pending case attached. And to grant this motion, Mr. Chair, would delay the proceedings, and we are thus we are recommending that this be denied for lack of merit, sir.
Okay. What was the ground again for the disqualification?
They failed to attach a certificate of no pending case, sir.
And then what are they saying?
They are saying right now, sir, that they submitted all the documents.
And then we checked.
We actually checked during the opening of bid, sir. There was no attachment, and um, the representative also, sir, it was on record that they confirmed that there was no, sorry, there was no attached certificate of no pending case.
All right. Sige, do we have any objections from the other members? If there's none, we can adopt the recommendation of the TWG to deny the motion for reconsideration. Is there any objections?
None, sir.
Okay. All right. Hearing none, the recommendation is hereby adopted. Let's issue that letter. Please prepare that letter and issue it. Attorney
Yes,
Frank.
yes,
Let's
sir.
proceed with the presentation, please.
Yes, sir. We will issue that. We will prepare the letter, sir. Sir, another sorry, another another request for consideration, sir, is from SM Castro Management and Construction. Um, just to recall, sir, the bids of SM Castro was disqualified due to for submitting an expired tax clearance, and in their motion for reconsideration, sir, uh, it's basically they're just what's this? The ground basically for their MR is more on the uh, the difficulty of SM Castro to obtain or to renew their clearance due to COVID-19 or due to Omicron, sir.
Sorry, ano yun? Frank?
Um, the ground for their motion for reconsideration, sir, is more on the COVID-19. They are not, they were not able to comply with the renewal ahead of time due to COVID-19.
What is this renewal for tax clearance?
Yes, sir. This is for the tax clearance. And if I recall correctly, sir, we extensively discussed this during the meeting, uh, whether to accept or not the expired tax clearance, and the one of the grounds discussed, sir, is yung tax clearance can be renewed ahead of time, even if it is not yet expiring. So it is not on the same ground, or it's not on the same level with the mayor's permit. That's why we deny or we disqualify SM Castro at that time, sir.
Hindi, okay lang. Okay lang yun. The issue is really whether we're gonna accept the excuse of Omicron. And it's not the issue on the similar to the mayor's permit. Um, is there anything attached? There is any proof? Wala.
Wala po, sir. Sinabi lang dito na um, they may be able to uh, they can provide an updated copy of the tax clearance first week of the year 2022, and in fact in their MR they did not attach, sir, any document.
They didn't attach it here also. Bakit din na lang nila in-attach?
Yeah, no attachment, sir. That's why we are recommending to
Sige.
deny.
I don't think we have any basis to approve this other than their bare statements, which is not enough. Sige. I have no objection with the denial. Other members, do you have any objections? Alright, hearing none, let's deny this, Attorney Frank,
Yes, sir.
the
We
MR.
prepared the letter, sir. We will now, sir, proceed with the presentation of the bid evaluation report.
Okay.
Good morning, everyone. I will be presenting the TWGB evaluation report for the project Lawag International Airport Development Project CY 2021 runway strip grade correction with provision of strip end and Andressa, expansion of turnaround pad, construction of access road, grouted riprap slope protection at proposed access road, provision of double barrel RCPC and manhole, concreting of additional VPA, construction of perimeter, security fence, and frangible fence. The ABC for the project is 124,947,650 pesos and 9 centavos. It was opened last January 5, 2022. The following bidders signified their intention to participate in the bidding for the above mentioned project. So, 15 bidders signified their interest. However, only 14 bidders tendered their bid proposals within the prescribed period, and the submitted bid proposals were opened and checked in the presence of the bidders, representatives, and observers. During the opening of bids, a preliminary examination of the submitted bid proposals was conducted using non-discretionary pass-fail criterion. Only 10 bid proposals were initially rated as passed for having submitted the required documents specified in the checklist. The following bidders were disqualified with the following grounds. So for SM Castro, Management and Construction Services, for their expired tax clearance, Trice Builders Enterprises for failure to submit certification of no pending case against the government. For EGB Construction, GCA Construction Supply, same, failure to submit certification of no pending case against the government. HGW3, Engineering and Construction, KVC Construction Joint Venture, failure to submit certification of no pending case against the government. The TWG recommended for the conduct of bid evaluation on all bids that were rated as passed, and this was duly approved by the BAC. For the findings, from the 10 initially rated passed bidders, only 4 bidders were ascertained to have tendered complete bid. So we have for DK Jackson Construction with a submitted bid of 91,473,591 pesos and 38 centavos. This is including the 26% discount offered. So the calculated bid is 91,473,591 pesos and 38 centavos. So this is the lowest calculated bid with a complete bid, and it is below the ABC. The second lowest calculated bid is M.R. Vargas Construction Corporation with a submitted bid of 100,966,301 pesos and 10 centavos, and the calculated bid is 100,966,843 pesos and 90 centavos. So it is also a complete, they have submitted a complete bid, and it is below the ABC. So the third lowest calculated bid is Unimasters Conglomeration Incorporated, Dyson Construction and Trading Corporation joint venture. So their submitted bid with a 7.10% discount is 102,204,047 pesos and 57 centavos. The calculated bid is 102,204,047 pesos and 58 centavos, and they have a complete bid, and it is below the ABC. So the fourth lowest calculated bid is the DJCM Construction Corporation, Sean Contact Construction and Supply Joint Venture. Their submitted bid is with a 5% discount amounting to 116,320,375 pesos and 10 centavos. The calculated bid is 116,649,994 pesos and 13 centavos. They have offered a complete bid and is also below the ABC. So for the 6 bidders that were recommended for disqualification because of offering incomplete bid, so J.A. Flores Construction Incorporated, AB Thailand Construction and Development, LSD Construction and Supplies, Prime Giga Build Construction Corporation, AD Peneda Construction, and R2 Builders Incorporated. So I would like to proceed to Annex A to show the basis for the disqualification. So for J.A. Flores Construction Incorporated, the CAAP requirement for the 10 mm steel bar, the grade requirement is G60, but however their bid only offers a grade 40 steel bar. For AP Thailand Construction, the CAAP requirement for the bulldozer is 165 horsepower. However, their bid proposal only offers 1.65 horsepower bulldozer. And also the vibratory roller they have offered is, it was not indicated that it is a single smooth drum roller. For LSD construction, the CAAP requirement is a 2 inches paintbrush. However, their bid offered a 2 inches paint roller. For Prime Giga Build construction, the unit required for the CAAP requirement, for the 32 millimeter round steel bar is in pieces. However, their bid proposal is in kilograms, and the steel form 38 mm, our requirement is in linear meters. However, their bid proposal is in pieces. So for AD Peneda construction, the requirement for the dump truck is in cubic yard, 12 cubic yard. However, the proposal for AD Pineda is in cubic meter. For our two builders, the CAAP requirement for the 16 mm steel bar, the grade requirement is G60. However, their submitted proposal is only a grade 40 steel bar. So from that, these are the recommendations. The following bid proposals of work ascertain complete for offering all required items in the detailed estimates in the provided Philippine bidding documents for these four bidders: DK Jackson Construction, MR Vargas Construction Corporation, Unimasters Conglomeration Incorporated, Dyson Construction and Trading Corporation Joint Venture, DJCM Construction Corporation, Sean Construction and Supply Joint Venture. The following bid proposals were found to have submitted an incomplete bid or for offering a deficient list of materials, labor, and equipment in the required items in the detailed estimates. GA Flores Construction Incorporated, AB Thailand Construction and Development, LSD Construction and Supplies, Prime Gigabuild Construction Corporation, AD Pineda Construction, R2 Builders Incorporated. The basis for the disqualification is provided in the bid clause 11.1, modifications and or alterations on the stated requirements in the financial document forms, BOQ, detailed breakdown of component of each item and DUPA shall not be allowed. Applicable CAAP BAC standard forms included in this PBD shall be complied in accordance with the prescribed forms under Section 9, Bidding Forms Annex C. Bids not complying with the above instructions shall be disqualified. The bid proposal of DK Jackson Construction is considered as the lowest calculated bid in the amount of 91,473,591 pesos and 38 centavos. It is recommended by the BAC TWG that the bids of JA Flores Construction Incorporation, AB Thailand Construction and Development, LSD Construction and Supplies, Prime Gigabuild Construction Corporation, AD Pineda Construction, and R2 Builders be disqualified for offering an incomplete bid and modifying the CAAP standard form. Second recommendation is a bid proposal for DK Jackson Construction to undergo post-qualification process for being evaluated and considered as the lowest calculated bid in the amount of 91,473,591 pesos and 38 centavos for the project of Lawag Airport Development Project, CY 2021, for the consideration of the BAC.
All right, thank you for that presentation. So we have a recommendation here for the disqualification of several bidders for submitting incomplete bid and for the conduct of post-qualification evaluation for the bid proposal of DK Hoxton Construction. Do you have any comments or questions from the members? If there's none, maybe we can have a motion, please.
To the chair.
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, may question lang po ako kay Ms. Lolita.
Go ahead po.
Ma'am, hinahanap po yung KVC Construction dun sa listing.
Ma'am Joyce,
Opo.
ano pong company, ma'am?
KVC Construction. 14, 15 naman siya. No? Wait lang. Katie Pineda. Sige, yun na nawawala sa akin dito eh. Sige sir, baka lang ano kasi
Ma'am
ito yung
Joyce?
sa listahan ko. Opo.
Na-DQ po siya, parang siya, ka-joint venture po siya ni HGW is equal to 3.
Okay sir. Sige po. So, kulang ako ng lista rito. So, JV pala siya, JV.
JV po
Okay
siya,
ba?
ma'am.
Yes. Right.
Nandito po sa findings po natin.
Meron ako hindi na lista rito. Kasi number 3 sa akin si KBC, number 4 si AGW. Sige sir, taken po. Thank you.
Thank you, Ma'am Joyce.
Thank you. Do you have any further comments? Just then maybe we can have a motion, please.
Motion, Mr. Chair.
Yes, ma'am.
Opo, I move for the adoption of the recommendation of BAC DWG for disqualification of the following: AB Thailand Construction and Development, LSD Construction Supplies, Prime Gigabuild Construction Corporation, AD Pineda Construction, and R2 Builders, GA Flores Construction. And second, for DK Hoxton Construction to undergo post-qualification process, being the lowest calculated bid. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Then, is there any second?
Second.
Thank you. There being a motion duly seconded, the recommendation of the TWG. The recommendations are hereby adopted for the disqualification of GA Flores Construction, AB Thailand Construction, LSD Construction, Prime Giga Build Construction, AD Pineda Construction, and R2 Builders are hereby disqualified. And for the adoption of the recommendation of the TWG for the post-qualification evaluation of the bid proposal of DK Hoxton Construction is hereby adopted. Motion is hereby carried. Let's implement, please. Do we still have any more items to the agenda? Alas 12 na.
One last, sir, which is
Sige.
for Ormoc, sir.
Sige.
Sir, next item is the presentation of the bid evaluation report for the Ormoc Airport Development Project, construction of control tower building, powerhouse, transformer, yard box, culvert, and street grade correction, amounting to 194,095,250 pesos. This is an ADMS DOTR downloaded project. This will be presented by Engineer Hubert Tamakak.
Sir, for this project, sir, we also receive a motion for consideration coming from BM Marketing. Also, the same ground, sir, BM Marketing wanted to disqualify all the bidders for non-submission of a 2022 mayor's permit. Same discussion, sir, same grounds cited in their request for consideration. So the TWG, sir, would like to recommend to adopt the same, to implement the same recommendation. We recommend, sir, to also deny this recommendation based on the previous discussion, sir.
All right, I have no objections. Other members, do you have any objections? All right. Hearing none, let's proceed with that, Attorney Frank.
Yes, another MR, sir, is from CTC Builder Supply, joint venture with VCD Construction. During the bid opening, sir, the proposal was disqualified. I mean, this bidder was disqualified due to submission of expired tax clearance, and during the opening, they admitted, even in their letters, or they admitted that they submitted an expired tax clearance, and the only reason that they cited here is it's because of the Typhoon Odette, uh, and that's why that's why there was a delay in the processing. But considering, Mr. Chair, that the other bidders were able to comply, and the same scenario with the earlier discussions, or I mean bidder, we also recommend for the denial.
Okay. I have no objections as well. Kung wala namang basis. Members, do you have any objections? Hmm. Hearing none, let's deny this, Attorney Frank as well.
Yes, sir. We will now proceed, sir, with the presentation of the report.
Go ahead.
Good morning. I will be presenting the evaluation of Ormoc Airport Development Project. Construction of control tower, building, powerhouse, transformer yard, docks, culvert, and street grade correction. Located at Airport, Ormoc Airport, Ormoc Leyte. ABC is 194,095,250 under bid number 21-029-11. The date and place of opening of bids, January 5, 2022, CAAP conference room. 13 bidders signified their intention to participate in the bidding of the above-mentioned project. Of the 13 prospective bidders, only 10 tendered their bid proposal within the prescribed period, and submitted bid proposals were open and checked in the presence of the bidders, representatives, and observers. During the opening of bids, only 9 bid proposals were initially rated passed for having submitted the required documents specified in the checklist. CTC Builders and Supplies VCT Construction and Supply Joint Venture was disqualified for submitting an expired tax clearance. Consequently, the DDTWG recommended for the conduct of bid evaluation on all bids that were rated as passed and was duly approved by the BAC. Number 1, Unimasters Conglomeration Incorporated, in joint venture with Dyson Construction and Trading Incorporated, submit the lowest bid of 165,116,425.13 with 5.08% discount, equivalent to 156,728,510.73. The calculated bid of Unimasters is 165,116,425.12 with 5.08 discount, equivalent to 156,728,510.72, and is considered the lowest calculated bid and below the ABC. Second, Welcome Corporation International, with a submitted bid proposal of 190,213,345, and the 8th lowest bid, and consider the second lowest calculated bid, complete bid, and below the ABC. MAC Builders, submitted a bid of 190,213,345 and is the third lowest calculated bid and below the ABC. B. Vicencio Builders Incorporated, FFJJ Construction, Prime Giga Build Construction Corporation, was found to have incomplete bid and recommended for disqualification. The following bid proposals were certain complete for offering the required detailed estimates and provided in the Philippine bidding documents. Unimasters Conglomeration, a joint venture with Dyson Construction and Trading Incorporated. Number 2, Ware Corporation International. Number 3, MAC Builders. And disqualified for incomplete bid, Prime Giga Build Corporation, PM Marketing, Aqualine Construction, B. Vicencio Builders Incorporated, FFJJ Construction, and Dumduma Construction, and Trading Corporation. As provided in BDS Class 11.1 expressly provides that modification and alteration as stated in the financial document forms shall not be allowed. Applicable CAAP doc standard forms included in the PBD shall be complied in accordance with the prescribed forms under Section 9, bidding forms Annex C. Bids not complying with the above structure shall be disqualified. Shown is are the modifications found on the bid submitted by the following bidders. For Vicencio Builders Incorporated, in comparing with the CAAP requirement, it's the equipment that no backhoe was indicated in standard form, as well as the vibratory single smooth drum roller. For FFJG Construction, it's the unit that's different from the standard form, standard CAAP requirement. Bevel glass mirror, square meters, while the FFJG is indicated pieces. Likewise, the frosted tempered glass ledge should be in kilograms, while the contractor indicated pieces. Steel ledge support should be in pieces, while the indicated in the bid is square meters. For Prime Giga Build Construction Corporation, no data was indicated in the materials as well as the equipment. One lot is the requirement, while for Prime Giga Build, yes, 30 months, not one lot. for the Dumduma, lastly, that for Dumduma construction, modification is on the labor, common labor, and the project engineer. No, no project engineer was indicated in the standard requirement. Last findings. The bid proposal of Unimasters Incorporated in joint venture with Dyson Construction and Trading is considered as the lowest bid in the amount of 166,728,510.72. The TWG recommends the following based on the above findings. The bids of Prime Gigabuild Construction, BM Marketing, Aqualine Construction, BV Essential Builders Incorporated, FFJJ Construction, and Dumduma Construction and Trading Corporation be disqualified for offering an incomplete bid and modifying the CAAP standard form. Second, the bid proposal of Unimasters Conglomeration Incorporated, Dyson Construction and Trading Incorporated to undergo post-qualification process for being evaluated and considered as the lowest calculated bid in the amount of 156,728,510.72 for the project Ormoc Airport Development Project, construction of tower, building, powerhouse, transformer yard, box culvert, and street grade correction. That's all for your consideration. Thank you.
Thank you. Can we keep it flash, please? It's for discussion of the members. So we have here a recommendation from the TWG for the disqualification of several bidders. Scroll up, please. Of particularly of Prime Gigabuild Construction, BM Marketing, Aqualine Construction, BV Essential Builders, FFJJ Construction, and Dumduma Construction for to be disqualified for offering incomplete bids. And secondly, for the conduct of post-qualification process for the bid of Unimasters Conglomeration Incorporated and Dyson Construction Trading Joint Venture. Do you have any comments or questions from the members? If there's none, let's have a motion, please.
Through the chair.
Yes, ma'am.
I hereby move to adopt the recommendation of the BAC TWG to disqualify the following: Prime Gigabuild Construction Corporation, DM Marketing, Aqualine Construction, B. Vicencio Builders Incorporated, FFJJ Construction, and Dumduma Construction and Training Corporation due to the offering of an incomplete bid and or modifying the CAAP standard form. And with that, also recommend to adopt the recommendation of the TWG to proceed with the post-qualification of Unimasters Conglomeration Incorporated and Dyson Construction and Trading.
All right. There's a motion. Is there any second?
Second, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. There being motion duly seconded, the recommendation of TWG for the disqualification of the aforementioned bidders and for the conduct of post-qual evaluation for Unimasters and Dyson joint venture is hereby adopted, and the motion is hereby carried. DWG, for all of these post qual, do we have sufficient time? If you just for the information of everyone, there is already a memo from the COMELEC regarding the election ban, which is March 25. Just to make sure na aabot tayo, ha. Dami na itong ipa-post qual.
Yes, sir. Actually, sir, we will conduct post-qual even on a weekend, sir.
Okay, sige. All right, please implement. So we have anything else for the agenda?
None from the TWG, Mr. Chair.
None from the Secretariat, sir.
All right, thank you. With that, considering it's no more items in the agenda, we can already adjourn the meeting. Maraming salamat po for your time, especially our members, Ma'am Dayan, Ma'am Vani, and Ma'am Joyce for being here. Really appreciate it. Let's Secretariat, can you just inform us of the next notify us for the next meeting na lang. Thank you. Meeting is adjourned. Good
Thank
afternoon,
you.
everyone. Have a good lunch.
Thank
Thank
you.
you po.
Salamat po. Bye po.
Sipag, TWG.
Sipag-sipagan tayo. Kasi March 25 namin.
Puyat yan, ma'am. Madaling araw na natulog.
Laban lang. Bye po. Kain na po.
Bye-bye. Wala pa yung lunch.
Ay, wala pa yung lunch. Nandyan na po sa ihahatid lang po. Nasa back secretariat lang po.